Welcome in, Rebels. On today's Rebels Edge, oil is down, stocks are up. Is the Iran war in the rearview mirror, or do the markets even care? In other news, doggy drug downer. Veterinary drug maker Zoetis plunges on Q1 earnings and guidance disappointment. And finally, in a very special small cap spotlight, we'll be covering Realloys. ALOY is the symbol there. John and I had the privilege of ringing the closing bell on the Nasdaq, and they got a pretty important memorandum from the Department of War that bodes well for the company. We're going to cover all of that and more in today's Rebels Edge.
Great to have you here, Mark. Folks, you know that is the CEO of Market Rebellion, Mark LoPresti. Mark Esquire. Do we have to throw that in there, Mark? He is joining me today. Pete is fine. He's just doing his annual physical. But we are ready to rock. So let's just jump right in. And in macro today, Mark, I'm going to say equity markets doing pretty well because of the strong gains in Asia. Shoot, the Nikkei 225 was up almost 6% today. Optimism about this potential peace deal that Mark was just hitting on, whether or not the war's over or whether people even care anymore. Obviously, we care, but what we really care about is what Mark is about to hit next.
Well, John, first of all, it's good to be back with you after a bit of a hiatus from the Rebels Edge. As you know, I've been out there busy on the networks, continuing to carry the Rebel brand to millions of viewers all across America and around the world. But yeah, look, I mean, the market does not seem to care that much about what's going on with the Iran conflict. Incredibly hard to believe when it's the largest shock to the oil and gas supply chain and the global supply chain generally, not just oil and gas that goes through that very important strait. But look, I think so much of this is about the fact that notwithstanding the haters and the naysayers on those four-letter networks, the AI trade is not dead. It's not even close to being dead. We've been saying this for months, for years, even as producer Jared pointed out in the green room before. So that's what I'm looking at. And yeah, I think the green on the screen is going to continue. Markets a little bit flat right now, a little bit of red, but only slightly. And those earnings just keep coming out stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yep. And Mark, one of the things that has happened, of course, is Venezuela's production has gone from 300,000 barrels a day, folks, to 1.2, almost 1.3 million barrels a day. Mark and I were enjoying dinner last night with a gentleman who's one of the people going in there. Boy, they do have the largest amount of oil on Earth right now. And some of it even in lakes, apparently, at the bottom of lakes in Venezuela. But more on that in the future. That was a very interesting dinner conversation with him, Mark.
It always is. And John, let's talk a bit quickly about the VIX that we check in with routinely, as loyal viewers know. Around a 17 handle, pretty bullish indicator. If you look at it from the fear gauge perspective, and that's not all it is. I think that's actually a pretty poor name for the VIX. But it does seem to show that the glide path for the bulls remains fairly clear.
Yep, indeed. And I guess we hit a quick prediction market here, Mark.
Yeah.
Regular viewers know that we follow the prediction markets a lot, and we follow them in particular right now about the war. And look at what those bets are stacking up as right now, folks. Ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The biggest moves are, 40 plus ships and 20 plus ships. In other words, they are flying through there right now. And these are bets, of course, and they're tracked by satellites. So I think, Mark, it gets more and more bullish for the markets and less bullish for crude oil.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Those are some pretty positive outlook that by the end of the month that we would be seeing that kind of traffic through the strait. I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing, of course, for consumers. Hopefully, we'll start seeing less pain at the pump. It's a good thing for the midterms going into that. That's obviously front of mind for everybody. So I hope that those prediction markets actually pan out the way that they do. John, let's talk about that doggy drug downer that I teased at the cold open. What's going on with Zoetis?
Well, wait, aren't we going to hit small cap spotlight first?
Oh, whenever you like. We can do a small cap spotlight right now.
All right, let's hit small cap spotlight.
I
Mark
got to
loves
change
that.
hats, though, John. Hang on.
All right, there it is, Realloys hat. That is the name of the company, folks, that Mark and I were proud enough to attend with their board and a bunch of their people that could make it into town. It was a big crowd. And what do? Well, I got to interview Lippy, the CEO, who's right in the middle there in the white shirt and blue tie. He did a fabulous job as a miner. And then he figured out, Mark, that, hey, there's a lot to be said for not just the mining, but the processing side of both gold, platinum, silver. And then he basically pivoted on over to the rare earths and heavies as well as lights. And this is a company that we are proudly representing and are paid advisors to, right, Mark?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Look, John, we talk about this all the time on this show and all the major networks. It's not, when it comes to rare earth, just a matter of where these minerals are found. It's the refining. To put it in perspective, China's got about 70% of the world's rare earth in the ground, but they refine 90% of the world's rare earth. That puts them in control when it comes to our defense supply chain. Guys, this is a massive, massive national security issue. The Trump administration recognizes that. That's why the Procurement Act was passed, which is going to require the refinement and sourcing of a certain quantity of rare earth for defense purposes in 2027. This is a company that is focused exclusively on the refinement of those rare earths, particularly the heavies that are used in conjunction with magnets. And look, I got to tell you, folks, this is one to watch. The board is absolutely stacked with people that have experience in this, a couple of former generals, if my memory serves me correctly. And yesterday, not only did we ring the closing bell on the Nasdaq to celebrate their uplisting to the Nasdaq, but we also talked about the fact that the company received a memorandum that went out from the Department of War to the top companies that are engaged in helping solve this problem. And that memorandum from the Department of War reiterated that access to refined rare earths, particularly those heavies, is a matter of critical national security for the United States. We expect to see more announcements like that from the government, and we hope that ALOY, Realloy, will be the beneficiary, continue to be the beneficiary of that kind of news as they continue to deliver on their business plan. So that is one to watch. That's our small cap spotlight today. That's a Rebel Investors Club model portfolio name. So to all you RIC members, congratulations on getting in on that one. And yeah, another great day ringing the bell. That's like the fifth or sixth bell ringing we've done this year, I think, John. People are asking me if that's our part-time job now.
It almost is. I mean, 2 at the New York Stock Exchange, folks, 2 at the Nasdaq, and 1 at CBOE Global Markets. So my arm's getting sore, Mark. We're ringing so many bells, but that's good news for our investment bank and the outside business we do beyond market rebellion. And in this case, really good for national security, like you said. All right, let's finally hit on that Zoetis stock, Mark. The stock is just getting cracked. It was down
the doggy drug downer, as I call it.
Today it's, doggy drug downers.
Doggy drug
That's
downer.
what Zoetis does, folks. Mark, exactly right. I mean, it plunged because their veterinary product maker lowered full year outlook. And Mark, when you do that, we know you're going to get hit. It's just a question of, do you make it to double digits? And if you make it to double digit down, that is definitely a doggy downer.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, look, quarter over quarter revenue growth was actually positive. That was one of the few bright spots in this earnings report. But revenue fell 8% on a year over year basis to 1.1 billion. But look, I think one of the biggest things impacting guidance on this company is the level of competition. I mean, we love our pets in this country. We love our dogs. We are a nation of dog lovers. And there's so much competition out there, and companies that are trying to deliver and are delivering veterinary pharmaceuticals for our beloved four-legged friends. And I think that is impacting their outlook. So, yeah, that's one that's in the doghouse today, John.
Yeah, in the doghouse. All puns are intended. And send any complaints to Mark
Yes.
LoPresti.
Yes.
All right, Mark, what about Datadog? Datadog is basically a platform for cloud applications. They have been going in the opposite direction of Zoetis. They're up almost 29% at mid-session here today. Basically reported first quarter results substantially exceeding analysts' expectations. And I think pretty much record revenue here, Mark. So a pretty fabulous report all the way along for DDOG.
Yeah, no question. And as you may remember, John, with our exploits with the data platform Battlefin, which I co-founded, well, it seems like eons ago, this is one that we've been watching since it was a private company. They've done an unbelievable job building and scaling this business. And that quarter-over-quarter revenue growth, actually year-over-year revenue growth that you're talking about that were reported in these earnings, 32%. When you grow your revenue by almost a third, traders, investors, and markets take note. This stock doing incredibly well on that news. This is one, even with the run up in the stock, a 30% run in the stock before we started to go on air. This is one I would still keep on my watch list. I'd buy on any tech sell off dips that may occur, as we do expect to see some continued volatility this year. The Iran war's not over, folks. There'll still be days to buy stocks like this that have run up, but this one's definitely not in my doghouse and on my watch list.
Well, I bet this one we all wish it was in our portfolio. I must say I don't have shares in this one, but AAON, folks. This one, they do HVAC, which I think most of you guys know what those four letters stand for commercial and industrial indoor environments. And who has something, Mark, that needs to constantly be cooled down because the computers just heat up? Well, that would be, of course, our data center friends. And so we can always tie all of this, Datadog and AAON to something like these AI data centers, because these guys, 40% to the upside today, Mark. I mean, it's just humping to the upside. And that's a great thing for them. I think we're looking at the highest levels that it's hit in ever, really. But it hit 149 just a little bit ago, Mark.
No, and deservedly so. We talk about those year-over-year increases that tend to push stocks to these kind of parabolic rises in a single day. 50%, folks. This is a company that reported 50% growth on a year-over-year basis. They are delivering where it matters. And this speaks to a broader topic, John. It's been something that we've been focused on at Market Rebellion for years now. It was part of the subject of our first equity research report, how AI demand is changing our energy and infrastructure picture in this country. We, of course, have dealt with all of these naysayers saying that AI, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. Lisa So at AMD 2 days ago, what did she say to those naysayers? Hold my beer. What's the reality here, folks? All of the companies that are in that data infrastructure space that provide even things as simple as HVAC. You don't think about HVAC as being high tech. You think about the guys that come and fix your home air conditioner. Well, that's not all the industry is about, folks. This is a sector, this is a tried and true industry in HVAC that is going to and will continue to benefit from the explosion and expansion of AI data centers that is not close to over. Mark my words.
Well, here's even more proof of that, Mark. So other than Mark's doggy drug downer at the top of the show, everything has been AI related, Mark. Fortinet, FTNT, up double digits today, basically adapting to the rise of artificial intelligence. Their latest report demonstrated really strong results. And the key word in all those results was AI. Yeah. Shares were just up as much as, I think, 12%. early on, and then they went up 20%. Product revenue accelerating dramatically here, Mark. And again, if 3 of the 4 stocks that we cover on any given day are data center and or AI related, that tells you what Mark is saying. It ain't dead. It's just getting started.
No, and this company also benefiting, of course, from some pretty positive comments from firm Truist Securities coming out. And look, a lot of what this is about, folks, is the demand side of things. The thread through all of this, to be specific, it's not just AI's booming. It's the question of whether or not we have accurately factored into the price of these stocks what the demand side looks like and the outlook that we're getting when the guidance is offered by these CEOs in these earnings reports continue to increase what the expected demand is. And I think that is a massive, massive takeaway. So, John, well, look, from AI and data centers and dogs and being in and out of the doghouse, it's a very canine theme today on today's Rebels Edge. Maybe producer Jared should have some pictures of puppies running through a field. I don't know. He may or may not have that available. But let's get into Pete's Red Zone Sports. What do we got?
Well, I think you guys are all going to like this. This is a gentleman who had gone 3 weeks without hitting a home run. And I would probably describe a lot of us that if we were playing pro baseball, not everybody's Aaron Judge. Not everybody's Shohei Ohtani hitting home runs virtually every time they get up to the plate. But this guy, watch this, folks, because he hits 3 in one game. And you're about to watch him. Buried that one. Again, he'd gone 3 weeks, Mark, with none, and then all of a sudden he gets 3 in one game. There's a... So that's still just number 1, folks. Now you're about to see number 2. I think he's seeing this ball pretty well, Mark.
I would say. Damn.
Apparently that ball hung, as they say. Instead of breaking, that breaking ball didn't break. It just hung, and he just drilled it.
Unbelievable. A good day to be a Dodgers fan, for sure.
Yeah. And that last one, I don't know what that was. I think he was trying to throw a knuckler, Mark, but it's just a big fat pitch to this guy. 3 today, or yesterday in this case. Well, all right. So, Mark, I know you're going to like this next one because we don't show a lot of NFL or talk about a lot of NHL, rather. We talk about a lot of NFL. Yeah. But you throw the H in there as in hockey. And there are some pretty happy campers at the Sabres playoffs because these guys hadn't basically been in the playoffs for 14 years, Mark. So a lot of people that bought, season tickets that were just not feeling it. But all of a sudden, these guys made a run this year, and the rest is kind of history here.
Yeah, 109 points, the Atlantic Division champs. Absolutely. The Cinderella story, John. It's a Cinderella story.
It's a Cinderella story. It is.
Remarkable.
It's like the Cubs.
Yeah, exactly. Defeated the Bruins 4-2. Yeah, like you say, this is their first playoff series since 2007. Congratulations to those guys. Certainly also fun. Yeah, NHL, I used to play hockey when I was a kid, John, so I still get drawn to watching some of the drama that plays out in the NHL when I'm not distracted by the drama or the WAG drama, as your daughter. She taught me a new acronym yesterday. The WAGs are the wives and girlfriends of these F1 drivers. We might have to do a Red Zone Sports on that.
We might have to investigate that.
Yeah, we might have to do a special story on the WAGs. John, it was great to be back with you on the Rebels Edge. Thank you. After my hiatus, it was not a contract dispute, folks. We just, I had lots of other things going on as CEO of the company. We are doing a special PDT, Pattern Day Trader Elimination webinar today at 4 p.m. John, just a quick reminder, you're on that one with me. We're going to be giving folks an inside look
Cool.
at the pit, the Rebel Pit. We're going to be doing that live at 4 p.m. Producer Jared, you can potentially pop up a QR code or something for folks to join. You can see me tonight, 11 p.m. on Laura Coates Live on CNN,
Yeah.
the network founded by
And
media
as
mogul
you
Ted
folks know,
Turner that we lost
yeah,
yesterday,
those are
unfortunately.
key for all of you.
Sorry?
No, I was going to say all of those webinars like the one you just described, Mark, are free. So
Yes.
when folks register, we'll send them a copy of it and so they can see it over and over. Or if it's not convenient for them to join at 4 p.m. Eastern, right at the market close, which it isn't convenient for some people, obviously. Well, heck, you have all the time in the world to watch it as many times as you like. So let's get those numbers up there.
There you go. I love it. All right, Doc.
Mark,
Hey,
great job
get home
today.
safe.
Great
Good
job.
to see you. And thank you for letting me jump on the Rebel's Edge today.
Bang. We'll be back next Monday, folks, with more Rebel's Edge action. See you then.